Alright, so in one of my earlier video, I talk about the three aspects of being, which is the mind, the source of your thoughts, the spirit, the emotion, which is the source of your feelings, and the body, which is the act, which is the you, the part which you know as you. Alright, so today I want to talk about the mind because if you explore the mind, you will come to realize the mind has two aspects to it. The law of mentalism states that the all is mind, the universe itself is mental. Alright, and the seventh law, the law of gender, states that there is masculine and everything in everything, even the mind. The mind have masculine aspects and it also has feminine aspects. In science, it's called right brain hemisphere and left brain hemisphere. All right, so the mind is the element, part, substance, or process that reasons, thinks, feel, wills, perceive, judges. Remember, the part of a person that makes them able to be aware of things, because the mind is also the part of you that makes you to be aware of things, to be aware of the world, to perceive the world as well. So the mind is what enables humans to be aware of the world and their experiences and the experience of the world, the faculty of consciousness and thoughts. The mind is the faculty of consciousness and thoughts, which is also the brain. The mind is the brain. While the brain controls a person's movements, emotions, and various bodily functions, the mind also alludes to a person's morality, reasoning, and understanding. The brain is a physical organ, though it can be touched. The brain it can be touched and seen. However, the mind is intangible. You cannot see the mind, but it's also in the brain. It can never be touched or seen. You cannot see the mind, you cannot touch it, but you can see the brain and you can touch it. That's the only difference between the two parts. The mind is inside the brain. You see, the reason why you need to explore the mind, to know how the mind works and the aspect of the mind is very, very crucial. It's very, very important, because you see, Christ in the Bible said that for to set the mind on the flesh is death, but to set the mind on the spirit is life and peace. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may decide what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Alright, so the mind is actually to be transcended, like to be transformed from state to state. That is why you need to learn, unlearn, and learn. That is why you see, the same way your body needs supplements, your body needs foods, things. You need to consume food, to drink water, to eat, for your body to grow, for your body to survive, for your body survival. The same way your mind needs to be trained, your mind needs knowledge, your mind needs to be, you need to read, you need to learn, you need to, maybe you're a worker right now, you are doing that work. Maybe you have one profession that you are doing that profession before, because you acquire a knowledge to make you to be able to acquire, to be able to do that job. All right, so the mind, the two aspects of the mind. Let's talk about that one, the masculine and the feminine. One is associated with intuitive processings, and the other part is associated with creativity. Some people will say the right brain, and the right brain is associated with something, but you see, it's not the same in everybody. So That's why I said one is associated with intuition and the other is associated with creativity. So I've also said it in one of my videos that it's just like the intuition is also related to you knowing something. When you want to know something, you first need to acquire the knowledge. You need to gather information about something. Like you want to know someone, for example, you need to acquire knowledge about that person. Like for example, a car. We all know a car, but if you really want to go into owning a car or driving a car, you need to know how that car works. And not only know how it works, you also need to practice it and then do it. So the act of knowing, the act of learning, the act of gathering information about something is the intuition part, and the act of is the intuition part and is the impouring. You are gathering information, you are acquiring knowledge, so that one is impouring, is intuition. And the part, and when you now proceed into that thing that when you now proceed into doing something with it, creating, that one is outpouring, that one is creativity. That means you are now using the two part of your brain. Like when you acquire knowledge about how a car works, they told you need to first start the car, do this, do that, and everything, and then you proceed into practicing it, and then you start it, you move it, you start moving it, and then that one is still understanding. It's actually understanding. It's actually knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, not wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as they used to put it. They've put that thing in our brain since primary school, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. No, that was very, very wrong. It is knowledge, which means you need to know. Like a car, you need to know how the car works. And maybe they told you that this is a car, you use fuel, it moves, you do this and that. You've seen that one with yourself. And understanding is telling you everything. Like you first need to start the car, you now need to, maybe it's automatic, you will press the brake before you put it to drive, then you release your leg, everything. That one is understanding. And wisdom is when you proceed into practicing it and to the extent of mastering it, knowing it to the extent of teaching it to someone else. So that one is now wisdom. So intuition is when you gather information, everything, and learning, and then the creativity part is when you start doing something with what you know. Like you've gathered information about how a car works, and now you are now moving the car, you've practiced it, and you are now driving it, you've learned it, you are now driving it, you are even teaching it to someone else. That one is now creativity. That one is like this video, for example, that I'm doing. I first acquired all this knowledge in my head. That time I was using the intuition part of my brain, the intuitive part. Then now that I'm now creating this content, this video for you, now I'm now using the second part, which is the creativity, which is the creative part of the brain. So that's the two part of the brain. So when you know how the brain works, when you know the full aspect of the brain, you will transcend it. That part, that one, I will talk about it in my other video. Thank you.